So, you're thinking about moving to Palm Coast, Florida, but you want to know more about having a vacation rental here? That's exactly what we're going to cover in today's video. If that sounds like something you're interested in, then stick around because we're going to get after it right now. Hi, my name is Stephanie Schulis with Keller Williams Realty. Thanks so much for joining us today. If this is your first time to the channel, please make sure to tap that button below to subscribe, hit that bell for notifications, and you'll be the first to be notified anytime we put out brand new content all about Palm Coast, Florida living and moving to Palm Coast, Florida and the surrounding areas. We get calls, texts, and emails from people just like you looking to make the move to Palm Coast, Florida every day, and we absolutely love it. So whether you're thinking of making the move in the next 9 days or 90 days, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, and we'll do everything we can to help you make a smooth move to Palm Coast, Florida. Flagler County is a vacation destination, whether that's Palm Coast, Flagler Beach. We get folks coming here all of the time. And one of the common questions I get is, what do we do if we're considering getting ourselves an Airbnb? So let's dive in. One of the first things you need to know about short-term rentals or Airbnbs, VRBOs, etc., is that location is everything. Obviously, locations that are closer to the water tend to generate more money, but there's more than just the water, right? How close is it to shops, to restaurants? So walking distance, biking distance, they need a car. How's parking if they have to drive there? Location, location, location. One of the other things that's really important in location, so that it gets its own talking point here, is around regulations. A lot of times I've had customers assume that if a home is not within an HOA, that it can be available for short-term rentals. And that is not necessarily the case. A lot of times the city or the county have different regulations that can impact a short-term rental. Those regulations can be that you need a permit or a license to have a short-term rental. It can be that you need to use a local property manager to manage it. It can be that that property can be rented out for only month-long rentals and not weekly or nightly. It can be that short-term rentals simply aren't allowed and that the shortest lease is 6 months. There can be a lot of different regulations that vary location to location. So once you've kind of narrowed down where you want your short-term rental to be, it's time to really dive into the data and figure out and understand exactly what each and every regulation is and how that can impact you and your cash flow for that STR, that short-term rental. The other thing you want to consider, of course, is amenities. Within an HOA, you're typically talking about a pool, playgrounds, things like that, clubhouses. Perhaps it's a large enough one that it's got restaurants and golf courses, things like that. So in addition to having and understanding what those amenities are, you're also going to want to make sure you understand what the rules for guest use of those amenities are. That is, again, something that can vary drastically location to location. And one of the big things that can change is that it can affect your financials, which is, of course, its next talking point. Some HOA communities for amenities have separate fees for them. They have membership fees outside of your HOA fees. So you're going to want to make sure you know what those are. Some homes may require that you use certain property managers. You're going to want to know what those property management fees are. You're obviously going to want to know what the purchase price is, what the property tax is. If you need to do any upgrades and updates to the home, you're going to want to get a contractor in during your due diligence to get some quotes. If it comes unfurnished, you're going to want to have a ballpark for how much it's going to cost you to furnish it. You want to make sure that you have a solid understanding of the financials that it's going to take for you to get in the home, for you to maintain the home, and you're going to want to understand, of course, what your average nightly rate is going to be. You're going to want to take a look at things like how long it's going to take for you to earn your money back on the purchase. Going to want to look at what your profitability is going to be every year. All of those things. You need to do a deep dive into your finances. One of the things that we do for our customers is we have a Excel sheet that we use that we put all of this information in that kind of works like a calculator for us and really helps us to evaluate what the return on investment, the ROI, is going to be for each individual potential rental. If you're not working with an agent that can help you do those calculations, I highly suggest you find a different agent who has experience working with rentals. One of the last points that you want to consider when you're talking about short-term rentals is what your goals are. Is the short-term rental something that you're doing to make money on what is also a vacation home for yourself, meaning a home that you would likely be buying no matter what, even if it doesn't allow short-term rentals, but since it does, hey, why not capitalize on that? Is it something that is strictly an investment opportunity? Is it something that's an investment opportunity for 3 years until you retire and move in and make it your own? All of those goals, different goals, factor into how we evaluate those financials and how we evaluate potential ROI and the impact it's going to have on you. So you're going to kind of want to really narrow down and be specific with what your future goals, what your current and future goals are. And you're going to want to be working with an agent that can understand and help you capitalize not just on the current need of purchasing the home, but on your long-term use goals for the home. And that brings me to my last point when it comes to purchasing a short-term rental. And I've mentioned it in a few of these other points as well. And it's a little self-serving, but it is that you absolutely should be working with a local expert. You want to make sure that this person isn't just a realtor, but a realtor who has investment experience and can break down those calculations, that has those investment experience and can help run through different scenarios to help you narrow down your goals and make sure that the home works for you now and in the future. You're going to want to make sure you're working with an expert that has a detailed list of service providers that can help make any renovations you need in that investment property. And it's not going to hurt to have an agent who also knows where to get furnishings for the home, where you can save a little bit money, where you should splurge, etc. Working with a local expert for short-term rentals is the deal breaker for me in how smoothly the process goes. Not all of us are the same. Not all of us are created equal. So definitely worth interviewing a few and seeing who is the right fit to work with you and help you achieve your goals on purchasing a short-term rental in Palm Coast, Florida. If you have any questions about the process, you can always send us a text, shoot us an email, give us a call, or you can comment below. We always love hearing from you guys. That's it for today's video. We'll see you on the next one.